What's going on, guys? I'm Austin Mack, and welcome back to One More Minute, the show where each day I get 1 more minute to talk about whatever I want. And in today's video, we're talking about celebrities and celebrity fandom and my opinions on celebrities and a little bit of what's going on with celebrities around the world. But before we get into that, please make sure to subscribe. We're over 30 subscribers at this point, which means we've at least gathered 1 subscriber per day. And that is the coolest thing in the world, to have this really nice natural growth of this channel. But if you haven't already and you're just watching these videos, please make sure to subscribe and like. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, let's jump into this. So when it comes to celebrities and how I view them and how the world views them has changed over the years. And what I mean by that is the perspective of how we see celebrities, and whether that's through social media and the news networks, or how they're seen in the public, and how they change whatever the project they're working on. There's a lot of big topics there. We'll get all into this. So how we have been able to see them, I think, is a pretty major topic when it comes to this subject. So for the longest time, the only way to see a celebrity is through whatever project or movie they're working on, and literally seeing them like that. Now, the award shows are also another aspect of that, where you normally just get like the photos or whatever of them, and that's about it. Maybe like their big acceptance speech. That's generally everything you get out of an award show. And then there's also interviews, whether interviews at the award show or interviews on talk shows and podcasts, or well, actually not podcasts at the time, we'll get into that. But also like talk shows and then like interviews on other sites and stuff like that. That was pretty much your only way of you getting any information on a celebrity. Of course, then the popularization of the paparazzi and how absolutely insane that entire business is, and how this is the one time the aspect of free speech and being able to go wherever you want in the US kind of sucks a little bit, and we all kind of know it. I don't think anybody likes the paparazzi, but nobody dislikes the fact that there's photos or videos of a celebrity that you might have wanted to see. Because I think everybody's very interested in seeing who in the world Jennifer Lopez is dating or marrying. It's a interesting subject, and that will be most likely the last episode of this entire series. Yes, the last episode will be a 6-hour breakdown of her and Ben Affleck's marriage. It's coming. I know you guys have been wanting it. But you see what I'm saying. When it came to having anything from celebrities, 99% of it was only coming from second-party or third-party sources. It wasn't coming directly from the individual, unless it was maybe an interview. But even then, sometimes interviews can be taken out of context and put into a e-news broadcast, and they see one clip of it and are like, you know what? We're just going to spin this. So, but then everything changed of how the fan and the fandom perceives their celebrity. And that came with the advent of the online media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, probably not MySpace, TikTok. All of those major social media devices has completely changed how we see celebrities, both in a good and bad way. Now, I would like to say parasocial relationships are a very interesting aspect of the celebrity fandom. And fandoms are a very interesting aspect of celebrities in general. Fandoms are normally attributed to being a large fan and their collective fans, and them wanting to either support or defend or keep their celebrity generally in check, and wanting to keep up with their celebrity, whether it's through general news or also their socials and stuff like that. And that can attribute and grow into parasocial relationships. When parasocial relationships are a literal parasite relationship, it's a very one-sided relationship where one is consuming the information and the content of an individual, and the other individual either doesn't even know who they are or what they're doing, but might even dig into that and being like, oh, I love all my fans, in particular, these people who are paying me money. Now, that's more, talking a little bit more into depth with Twitch streamers and YouTube streamers and stuff like that, especially TikTok streamers as well. But steering back onto course, the way we see our celebrities has completely changed. As no longer did you hear about what J-Lo, I don't know why I keep bringing up J-Lo, we'll change it to Justin Timberlake. No longer would you hear only that Justin Timberlake didn't like this person. Now you could see it on his Instagram being like, hey, here's a photo of me and this person. We don't hate each other, and here's their ads. Now it's completely changed. Now you no longer have a secondary option. Now you have the primary person who you're going to. And that's also changed the business model of it, because now no longer people are only going to MTV or E-News or whatever and going directly to them being like, what is this person doing? And hoping and praying that they've posted an article or posted something on their main they've broadcasted it on their channel talking about what's going on. You can now look directly at the source. And I think hopefully this is potentially the reduction. It'll never be the end, but the reduction of paparazzi, because there's been horrible things that have been attributed to paparazzi, from literal deaths, if you know what I'm talking about, to people just kind of losing their minds. I know, for instance, people like Britney Spears, who has been in the limelight since she was literally a kid. I would not recommend it, but her Instagram is one of the most insane things I've seen in the world, and I don't blame her for it, as there was probably just a lot of just mental issues going on that she might not be addressing, or maybe this is a way of her of addressing it and trying to work through it. But her Instagram is sort of sad to see, because it's a lot of just like, man, this person just has a lot of issues, and a lot of that is from being grown up in the limelight and being constantly berated by paparazzi and flashing lights, literally. So with that, and that's really celebrities in the Western world. And with that, I want to jump into also celebrities in other parts of the world. Now, I don't know as much in terms of like the UK and stuff like that. But when it comes to the life of a idol star, that is absolutely insane. I'm sure you guys have maybe seen videos or photos of there being gatherings and huge, basically mobs of people going after bigger celebrities, either like Taylor Swift or Kai Cenat, like a streamer. Those models of like huge people in their own audiences and being just massive, and literally causing near riots wherever they go. That is the idol industry for basically like any major idol group, whether you're talking about BTS or LE SSERAFIM or any of these other huge idol companies, whether it's in Japan or Korea and stuff like that. Idol culture is insane. Whether it's collecting literal trading cards of your celebrity and being like, look, I will give you, I'm trying to figure out, do I know any idols right now? I'm blanking on any idols. I will give you X idol if you give me 2 of your idols that aren't chrome plated, but just like the regular versions. And literal trading cards, baseball trading cards of your idols is, I mean, in the Western world, it seems insane, but like, it makes sense. It makes sense to being able to literally have plushes, and it's very interesting because idol culture in Japan has made its way over the US when it comes to the VTubers. And if you want to hear more about that, on my main channel, I did talk about VTubers on one of my 10-minute videos. But idol culture has made its way over into the US, and I've been able to see kind of how that works, because there's little voice packs, there's posters, t-shirts, and a lot of that stuff sometimes is reserved for like world tours or concerts and stuff like that. But that's just general merch that you buy year round if you want to help your idol. And it's a little different because idols are directly being contributed, like they don't get as much money as your Taylor Swift or whatever as an individual. But you can help your idol by paying for their merch and keeping that individual basically alive in the idol world, because it's a very quickly spinning wheel of people just coming in and out because they don't look quite right, or like the right part, or they're just too old and stuff like that. But the idol culture is very interesting, and I want to study it more and have a bigger video about it in the future, more comparing it to the Western world. But jumping back into the Western world, how we see celebrities has changed a little bit. For the longest time when it came to movies and projects, having the biggest stars was some of the biggest grabs in the world. In some cases, it works out a lot. In a lot of cases, nowadays, it doesn't work out as much. for instance, The Rock. And he's a really cool guy. I'm sure he's a down-to-earth person. But the image of The Rock has changed so considerably, and it makes me want to do like one of those like 45-minute, hour-long videos of just talking about The Rock. Because the way he's gone from the most like beloved celebrity in the world. I was gonna say like movie star, but he's a movie star. He's been in TV shows. Of course, he originally came to the wrestling world, an athlete. He's just super, super popular. But then you have an oversaturation of the market of The Rock, which is therefore, I think, oversaturated the market for kind of everybody when it comes to celebrities. I've seen a growing dislike for celebrities who show up in too many things. Yes, that can be an issue, and The Rock is a huge example of that. When it came to creating, Black Adam, which was The Rock's first major foray into the superhero world, as he wanted to basically be the next Superman, that didn't work out well. He had already at that point been in multiple movies, I think that year? I know over the course of the years prior, but the serious oversaturation has then left individuals to be like, hey, look, at this point, sure, he can be great or whatever, but he's just The Rock in this role. He's not playing anybody else. And that's what producers and directors do want, is you're really hiring the individual, not the character. If you're hiring the character, you're probably gonna go with a character actor or somebody who's trained to do that. But if you're hiring The Rock, you're not hiring The Rock to play anybody but The Rock. Now, I will say he has an upcoming movie, which I'm super excited about, that looks like he's playing a different character entirely. And I'm not going to knock him for that. While I do like the Rock character, he's not necessarily supposed to be in everything. Where he fits really, really well. Have y'all seen the Jumanji movies? He's really good in those. But like, for instance, recently Red One, while it's a fun family movie or whatever, and it's a Christmas movie, those are always fun to watch. He is just playing The Rock. He's just playing an elf, without the ears, without the whole jolly jingle. It's just him in like a tactical gear, and he can shrink up and down, and it's just him going the entire time, and that's his whole role in that. And that has come to pass to a lot of celebrities. I know Awkwafina recently has been getting a lot of hate, as she's shown up in like Shang-Chi and like 50 other animated movies and stuff like that, like Kung Fu Panda and stuff like that. People are like, do I hear Awkwafina? Nah, I can't watch this. Even though she's a good actor, and I think she's funny, people are oversaturated with them. And so celebrities have now become a thing where it is highly regarded to be just get super popular and do a bunch of movies and people are gonna love you. Now it's a case of pick your project and actually do the work. They aren't as highly regarded as they used to be due to oversaturation, not only of their movies. I think it'd be one thing if we only ever saw them in the movies and films and their TV shows, but now that we're being oversaturated in not only the movies and films, but also social media is playing a huge part of this. We're oversaturated when it comes to an individual, and especially The Rock, as someone who is basically involved or doing something every single day. This is not a Rock the hit piece. I do enjoy his stuff. It's just, geez Louise, dude. There's too many Fast and Furious movies. There's, you try to take over the DCU with Black Adam. It's a whole thing. But yes, there's an oversaturation of celebrities. Now, when it comes to meeting celebrities, I really haven't said. I would say I've never met very many traditional celebrities, or any at all, actually. And I've never been that big of a person to be like, look, I want to meet this person if it's the last thing I do. Sure, I would love to meet this cool guy. I would love to meet The Rock, but it's not something I'm gonna die over. It'd be really neat. I would love to be able to talk with him. I think as more of a human level, I would love to talk to this person, and more of a person who is interested in seeing how this person goes through acting, goes through their job, and how they are as a professional in their advent of professionalism. But I'm not gonna keel over and die if I meet my favorite all-time celebrity. Now, there's a couple cases, and these cases are related to the concerts I've been to as well. I'm not a huge concert goer. I can understand, and I'm a huge music lover. I love music to death. But like, unless it's something that is revolutionary or an artist that I have been listening to for my entire life, I'm not gonna go to their concert. Now, that is a little different, as I went to go see somebody in concert that I absolutely love and I would obviously love to meet. But that's Justin Timberlake. Holy cow, I love Justin Timberlake and his music and his work. I've been following him. I think following him is a different word than being basically raised on him. I had no choice but to love Justin Timberlake. I was raised on his music, and while I should not be listening to Sexy Back as like a 5-year-old, I was listening to Sexy Back as a 5-year-old, and we move on. We still listen to that song 24/7. It's just how it is. Actually, I did buy Sexy Back on Fortnite Festival. There's a Fortnite mention for you, but I went to go see his concert, and actually I do want to break down his concert in the future because I think it's a very interesting look into his career and how his artistry, both as a live performer and also in the studio, has completely changed and has evolved over time. And now he's learned from his mistakes, like Man of the Woods. That wasn't the best album in the world, but we're all here for it. But I went to go see him in person, and it was one of the neatest experiences, as I really wasn't... Well, I was like, oh my gosh, look, there's Justin Timberlake. That's so neat to see him in person for the first time. It was more of, wow, hearing his music played and created for a more live performance compared to his more digital counterpart in his music. Because a lot of his music does center around also, I think it does have a lot more of a digital feel to it that is not able to be replicated in a physical environment. Whether that is like the drum tracks or his background music and just general and stuff like that. I'm not trying to get too much in the weeds. He does rearrange his performances for a live performance. Yeah, I'm getting too caught up in this. I'll wrap up with this. But yeah, seeing his stuff in person, as someone who's a big fan of him, it was obviously a dream come true, and I would love to meet him and stuff like that. Not really as a celebrity. I think that's also the major difference I want to get across. I'm not wanting to meet him as Justin Timberlake, the celebrity who has worn a blue jean overall jacket, pants, jeans, boots to an award show. No, that's not the Justin Timberlake I'm trying to meet. I'm trying to meet the artist behind the music, Justin Timberlake. I'm trying to meet the person who is nerdy about his drums, his sounds, his music, who was able to make an album like Man of the Woods that is very not his style, in my opinion, but be able to put that out there as a work of art, not necessarily as a Sexy Back album or a My Love album or whatever. It's more about the art than it was trying to get money from that. At least that's how I saw it. So that's my different perspective on celebrities. I admire them both as the entertainment value they give off, but also as the individual who creates the art. I think we forget that a lot, that a celebrity is an artist for a good chunk of that. Now, not every celebrity is an artist. You have people like the Kardashians who weren't shown to be artists in their own right. Coming up in the world, they were mostly brought up off of reality shows and stuff like that. But I will say that I'm not in particular, I don't know each Kardashian as they are, but they have made their own clothing brands, made their own makeup brands, things they've been involved with, and especially with clothing and stuff like that is a form of artistry in my opinion, and so they can be artists in their own fashion. But I think that's what I'm most interested in when it comes to celebrities, is a lot of their celebritydom, as in fandom, gets caught up in them being who they are, them being Justin Timberlake, Jennifer Lopez. There's so much outside of that is people would rather, or people have been coaxed into thinking they'd rather see. But I would love to see a sit-down interview with somebody who loves what they do. And a lot of times, these are these famous people who love what they're doing, love what they do. I'm not sure if The Rock absolutely loves every single buddy cop movie he's ever been in. I'm not sure he loves every Fast and Furious movie he's ever been in. Sure, he might say in interviews, sure, he might say in the press junket that he absolutely loves doing his movies, but we can't fully know that unless he sit down and actually get down to the dirty details. And why does he love this? And there's been great interviews that I've seen online. I can't remember his name right now, but there's an interviewer who talked to the stars of Wicked, and as they broke down in their own worlds why they love these parts, why they grew up to want to be these parts and stuff like that. And that's what I find interesting most about celebrities. If we get down to brass tacks, and obviously how we see them and how we perceive them and stuff like that, I perceive them as people who are misunderstood and are seen more as a celebrity. I think the word celebrity has changed so significantly in the wrong direction. A celebrity, in a lot of people's eyes, is an individual who is famous, and that's about it. I want to see a celebrity more from just the person who's famous. Why are they famous? What has pushed them to become the person they are? Therefore, they are famous, and in that area. This has been a little bit more of a ranty type video, and I apologize for that. And I'm gonna try to keep these a little more concise and built, and I have a couple things I wanna go over. But celebrities are a very interesting topic, and I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this as well. Yeah, just in general, it's interesting to see how we've changed our perspectives on how they're seen. As a celebrity is not a celebrity without the people watching them and perceiving them and being a fan of them or being a hater of them too. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Oh shoot, I forgot to talk about my background. Wait, did I talk about that in the previous episode? I probably did. I'll make sure that in the next episode, the previous episode, that I did talk about it.